My name's Dylan, and this isn't the kind of story you ever want to tell about your life. The kind where you realize too late that the people closest to you weren't who you thought they were. For most of my adult life, I've believed in loyalty. Not just in relationships, but in friendship, too. I grew up in a small town where your words still meant something, where trust was currency. And I carried that belief with me like armor, until it cracked. Her name was Ava. We met during freshman orientation in college. She was sarcastic, brilliant, could hold her own in any debate, and had a smile that made you forget what you were saying. I fell hard, fast. We started dating sophomore year, and I thought, no, I knew. She was it. The one. And then there was Ryan, my best friend since middle school, the kind of guy who got along with everyone, who could make a room laugh in 5 seconds flat. We were inseparable. Went to the same college, joined the same clubs, lived down the hall. He was my brother in everything but blood. Ava and Ryan got along great. Too great in hindsight. But at the time, I thought it was perfect. My girlfriend and my best friend liked each other. What more could I ask for? We graduated. Ava and I moved in together. Ryan got a job out west, but we kept in touch constantly. Group chats, memes, video calls, birthdays. Every time he came back to visit, he stayed with us, and I never once thought that was a problem. Until the night Ava told me she needed space. It was a Thursday. We were eating takeout, halfway through a mindless TV show, when she paused the episode and said those words. No fight, no build-up. Just, I need space. I thought it was about work, burnout, stress. We'd both been stretched thin lately. I offered to help more around the apartment, to book us a weekend getaway, to just talk. But she shook her head, tears already in her eyes. I don't think I love you the way I used to. It felt like a sledgehammer to the ribs. She moved out that weekend, said she was staying with a friend, wouldn't say who. Said she needed to figure things out. I didn't push. I didn't beg. I was too stunned. A week passed, then 2, then 3. I still held out hope. Maybe it really was just space. Then one night, I opened Instagram and saw it. Ryan, smiling with Ava at some trendy rooftop bar in San Diego, her head resting on his shoulder, his hand on her waist. Caption, some things just make sense. I stared at that post for 10 minutes, blinked, refreshed. It didn't change. The comments were flooded with congratulations, hearts, fire emojis. Finally, messages. Like the whole world had been waiting for this except for the one person who mattered most, me. They'd been planning it long before she left, long before she asked for space. I didn't text him, didn't call her. I just shut down. I deleted the app, turned off my phone. For 3 days, I didn't speak to anyone, not even my sister, who kept leaving voicemails. When I finally resurfaced, the world felt different, colder, smaller. I didn't know what hurt more, that Ava chose him or that Ryan let her. Months passed. I started rebuilding. Slowly, therapy, long walks, writing, talking to people again. I got promoted at work, moved into a new place, bought a dog. And then, just when the pieces were finally starting to fit again, she came back, not literally at my doorstep, but in a message. Ava. Hey, I know I'm probably the last person you want to hear from, but I just wanted to say I'm sorry for everything. That was it. No context, no explanation, but I knew deep down why she was texting. I opened Instagram again, heart pounding, went to Ryan's profile. Gone. No posts, no stories, no avenue. I searched her profile, new photos, solo trips, a coffee shop selfie with the caption, "Sometimes you don't realize what you had until it's gone." I laughed, a bitter, hard laugh, because I knew what was coming. She wasn't just sorry. She wanted back in. I didn't reply right away. Hell, I didn't reply for 3 days. Her message sat there, unread, like a ghost knocking on the door I just finished rebuilding. And I knew, the moment I opened it, even to read it, I was inviting that ghost back into my life. So I waited. Let her sit in silence the way she'd left me in it. Fair, right? On the 4th night, after walking my dog and pouring a glass of wine, I caved. Opened the message, reread it. Just one sentence. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for everything, No explanation, no closure, just breadcrumbs. I didn't want breadcrumbs. I wanted a full breakdown, a confession, the whole truth. So I typed back, "Me. What do you want, Ava?" She responded instantly. "Ava, can we talk? Just once? I need to say things I never said." And there it was. The hook. The second chance invitation. But I wasn't the same guy who had waited by his phone 3 months ago praying she'd come back. I was different now. Stronger. Sharper. Cautious. Still, I said yes. I told her to meet me at the cafe near my new place. Neutral territory. Somewhere public. Somewhere I could walk away from. When she walked in, I almost didn't recognize her. She looked smaller. Not physically. Just deflated. Like life had squeezed the fight out of her. Her hair was pulled back, no makeup, eyes tired, and for a second I felt something I didn't expect. Pity. She sat down across from me, hands wrapped around a coffee she barely sipped. The silence stretched until I broke it. "So?" She looked at me like I just punched her. "I deserve that," she said quietly. "I deserve a lot worse." I didn't respond. Let her speak. Ryan and it didn't work. I almost laughed. Shocking. She flinched. He cheated on me. With someone from work, told me I was too serious and not fun anymore. I raised an eyebrow. "So, same lines you gave me." She looked down. "Yeah, karma, I guess." "Why are you really here, Ava? You already said sorry." She bit her lip. Her eyes glistened. "Because I miss you. Because I made the worst mistake of my life. Because I thought Ryan was exciting, but I didn't realize he was just chaos in disguise. You were always steady, real, safe." "Safe? That's how you saw me?" She shook her head. "Not like that. I didn't know what real love felt like until I threw it away." There it was, the romantic confession, the vulnerable pitch. But something in me didn't move. Not like it used to. I looked at her and saw a woman searching for a time machine, not a second chance. She didn't want me. She wanted the comfort I represented, the old version of me who would have taken her back just because she said the right things. He was gone. "I'm glad you came," I said finally. "I mean that. But this, you and me, it's not happening." Tears welled up. She nodded slowly. "I figured. I just had to try. I hope you figure yourself out, Ava. For real this time." She reached across the table. I didn't take her hand. She pulled back, stood, walked out, and just like that, she was gone again. But this time, I wasn't the one left shattered. I finished my coffee, walked home, and felt calm. Not triumphant, not vindicated, just calm. Because finally the chapter was closed, on my terms. But I didn't realize then that Ava's return was just the beginning. There was still one more truth I hadn't uncovered, and it was going to change everything. Again. A week after that final conversation with Ava, life started to feel strangely balanced, like I was finally standing on solid ground again. Work was steady. My dog scout had turned into my unofficial therapist, and I was even considering signing up for a weekend hiking trip with a few guys from the office. And then the email came. Not from Ava. From Ryan. Subject line, "I owe you more than an apology." I stared at it for 10 full minutes before clicking. My hands were steady, but my gut twisted. "Dylan, I know I'm probably the last person you ever want to hear from, and I don't blame you for that. I've replayed what I did 1,000 times, and every version ends with me being a coward and a terrible friend. I don't expect forgiveness, but there's something I need you to know. Ava and I weren't just a mistake after she left you. We were already involved. Before she said she needed space. I didn't stop it. I didn't try. I told myself it wasn't real yet, that feelings weren't actions. But we crossed that line, and I let you believe she made that decision alone. The truth is, I pushed for it. I told her you'd never understand her like I did. I told her you were playing it too safe. I said all the things I knew would make her doubt you because I wanted her. I betrayed you. She didn't come after me. I went after her. I manipulated it all. And here's the worst part. The moment I got what I wanted, I realized it wasn't real. She wasn't in love with me. She just didn't know how to be alone. I destroyed our friendship for something that lasted 6 weeks and ended with both of us feeling emptier than when we started. I'm sorry, Dylan. For all of it, you were the best friend I've ever had. I just didn't deserve you. Ryan. I read it twice. Once with my eyes, once with my soul. Then I closed the laptop, leaned back in my chair, and let the full weight of it settle over me. He had gone after her, actively, intentionally. For months, I'd believed it was a gradual slide, two people growing close and giving into something they didn't plan. But this was premeditated. It wasn't just betrayal, it was sabotage. I thought back to all those conversations Ryan and I used to have late at night, the way he asked about Ava, the way he always joked, "If you ever screw this up, man, I'm first in line." I used to laugh. I thought he was kidding. He wasn't. He'd been waiting for me to fail, or maybe hoping for it, and when I didn't, he gave her reasons to leave. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. Not this time. Just sat there, numb. It was one thing to lose someone you love, another to know you'd been played by someone you called brother. And still, a part of me felt relief, because now I knew, really knew. The story was finally whole. No more wondering what happened behind closed doors. No more filling in blanks. I had the truth. The next morning, I forwarded the email to Ava. No message, no caption, just sent it. 5 minutes later, she replied, "Ava, I didn't know he told you. I never wanted you to see that side of it. I'm sorry, Dylan." That was the last message I ever got from her, and it was enough. I wasn't looking for revenge or closure. I already had both. I was looking for what came next. That weekend, I signed up for the hiking trip, left my phone behind, packed light, and disappeared into the woods for 2 days. It was the first time in years I slept without dreams. Just the sound of the wind in the trees, the crunch of boots on dirt, the quiet beat of my own heart, whole, scarred, and still moving forward. Because betrayal can shatter you. But truth can set you free. Coming back from the hiking trip, I felt different. Lighter, the kind of lightness that doesn't come from forgetting, but from finally putting something down you were never meant to carry. I got back to my apartment on a Sunday evening smelling like firewood and sweat, with a sore back and a calm heart. Scout jumped on me like I'd been gone a month, and for the first time in a long time, I let the silence in my home feel like peace instead of absence. I didn't check social media. Didn't scroll through memories. I made dinner, took a long shower, slept like a stone. Monday came, and with it, normalcy. I went to work, laughed with coworkers, got back to deadlines and Slack messages. Life, as it turns out, doesn't pause for heartbreak. Midweek, my sister called. We hadn't spoken much since the breakup, mostly because she'd hated Ava and had always bit her tongue when I was with her. "You sound good," she said after 5 minutes. "I think I am," I replied. And I meant it. She told me she was proud of me, said I deserved better, and that when I was ready, she wanted to set me up with a friend from her book club. "She's smart, kind, and has never slept with any of your friends." We both laughed, the kind of laugh you only earn after surviving something. I wasn't ready to date yet, but I wasn't not ready either. That weekend, I ran into someone unexpected. It was at the dog park. Scout was doing his usual sprint then collapse routine when a golden retriever barreled into him, full speed. While they tumbled, barking and wagging, I looked up and saw her. Not Ava, not someone from the past. Her name was Mia. She smiled, apologized for her dog's aggression, and then we just talked about dogs, weather, the weird smell coming from the far trash can. It was easy, natural. We ran into each other again the next day, and again 2 days after that. It became a thing, a rhythm. No numbers exchanged, no heavy questions, just two people with dogs and conversation. One morning, as Scout tugged at the leash and her retriever tried to chase a squirrel, Mia looked over and said, "You ever feel like your dog understands your emotions better than most people?" I laughed. Pretty sure mine's been through all 5 stages of grief with me. She smiled, warm and curious. Tough breakup. The kind that teaches you things you didn't want to learn. Sounds like the useful kind. We walked together for another 20 minutes that morning, and when we parted ways, she turned and said, "Same time tomorrow?" I nodded. Yeah, same time. That night, I thought about Ava for the first time in days, not with anger, not even with sadness, just curiosity. Where was she now? What was she thinking? Did she still regret it? Did she still hope I'd change my mind? But the more important question was this. Did I care? And the answer finally was no. Ava had been a chapter, a long one that shaped me. But I was already writing the next one, and Mia, well, I didn't know if she was going to be a page, a paragraph, or a whole new story, but for once, I wasn't afraid to find out. 2 weeks later, Mia and I had coffee for the first time. It wasn't planned. We'd just finished our usual morning walk when she said, "I could really use caffeine before I turn into a terrible human," and I joked that I'd only had enough energy to fake being charming for 20 more minutes. So we went. A tiny corner cafe near the park. She ordered a cappuccino, I got black coffee, and we sat outside with our dogs curled under the table like they'd been friends for years. The conversation was light, music, embarrassing high school stories, her job as a children's librarian, and how she once got banned from karaoke for singing Bohemian Rhapsody 3 times in one night. It was good. No pressure, no edge, just good. When she laughed, she didn't look past me. She looked at me. And I realized how long it had been since someone did that without trying to read between the lines, without trying to manage me. And that's when it hit me. I was genuinely enjoying myself. No comparison to the past, no ghosts hovering over the table, just coffee and company. Later that day, I got a text from her. "Mia, today was fun. You have good coffee energy." Me. That's the nicest thing anyone said to me who wasn't under the influence of espresso. Mia, let's do it again. I stared at the message longer than I should have, not because I was unsure, but because it felt like a moment I needed to feel. After everything. I replied yes. The next few weeks were a blur of more dog walks, more coffee dates, and eventually dinners. Mia was steady in a different way than Ava had ever been. She didn't push. She didn't expect a performance. She met me where I was, and that in itself made me want to keep moving forward. One night, after we'd watched a movie at her place, she asked quietly, "You ever think about reaching out to her?" She didn't say Ava's name. She didn't have to. I paused, then shook my head. Not anymore. She nodded. That's healthy. I think so. Want to talk about it? No, I said honestly. I want to talk about now. She smiled, and just like that, something shifted. Not quickly, not explosively, but like the slow, sure click of a door finally unlocking. That week, I got an unexpected package. No name, no return address. Inside was a hardcover journal. Plain black. Inside the cover, a single line in Ava's handwriting. You always needed a place to put the truth. I hope you still do. There was no anger in me, just quiet. I put the journal on my shelf, didn't throw it away, didn't open it either. I just let it be, like a relic from a life I'd already made peace with, because healing isn't about erasing, it's about absorbing and choosing what to carry forward. And I was carrying different things now, like the way Mia leaned her head on my shoulder during quiet moments, the way Scout immediately wagged his tail when she walked in, the way I didn't flinch anymore when someone mentioned the past. The pain had shaped me, but it didn't define me, and it wasn't the end of my story. It's been 7 months since Ava sent the journal. I never wrote in it, not because I didn't have anything to say. I did, still do, but I realized something in the quiet months that followed. I didn't need to record every wound to prove I'd healed. Life moved forward, not like a sprint, not even like a jog, more like a slow, steady walk in the right direction. I started reading again, volunteering on weekends. I finally took that trip to the Pacific Northwest I always said I would, alone, just me and Scout. It rained almost the whole time, and I loved every minute. Mia and I, well, we're a thing now, not a whirlwind, not some dramatic love story out of a movie. Just real, grounded, We talk about everything. And when we don't talk, we're still connected. The silence isn't scary anymore. She knows the whole story, every part of it, even the ugly ones. And she never once made me feel small for it. Never once made it about her. That kind of acceptance. I didn't know how badly I needed it until I had it. Sometimes we pass by the old neighborhood where Ava and I lived. The apartment building still stands, windows still lit up like nothing ever happened inside. And it's strange to see a place that once held so much meaning now feel like just another stop on the map. That's healing too, I think, letting the past take up less space in your present. A few weeks ago, Ryan sent another email, shorter this time, just said, "I'm in therapy now. Finally, I still think about you, hope you're okay." I didn't respond. Not because I hate him, I don't, but because forgiveness doesn't always come with an invitation to reconnect. Sometimes it's just letting go in your own time, on your own terms. One evening, Mia and I were sitting on the couch, Scout curled up at our feet, some low jazz humming through the speakers. She looked at me and said, "Do you ever wish it happened differently?" I knew what she meant. I thought for a moment and said no, because if it had, I might still be with the wrong person. I might still think love is supposed to hurt before it gets good. She smiled, leaned in, and kissed me on the cheek. "You're not the same guy you were." "Good," I said. "He deserved better." And I meant it, because for all the pain, for all the betrayal and heartbreak, I came out of it clearer, stronger, more honest about what I want and what I'll never accept again. That's the gift people like Ava and Ryan give you without meaning to. They teach you how to never be them. So no, this isn't a story about revenge or karma or getting the last word. It's just a story about losing the wrong people so you can finally find the right version of yourself. And for the first time in a long time, I like the man I've become.